Level 0. $6. It's 11:47 p.m. You're checking again. You checked an hour ago. The number hasn't moved. It won't move until Friday. That's 4 days away. 4 days of existing on what's already gone. Rent took half. The phone bill took the rest. The last $6 isn't savings. It's everything. Not a cushion, not a buffer. Everything you have between you and nothing. You're in a grocery store. Your hand reaches for an apple. $1.29. You feel the weight of it. You put it back. Not because you're disciplined. Because fruit goes bad, and wasting food when you're this low feels like a moral failure. You grab rice instead. Eggs. The cheapest protein that won't spoil. You know the price of everything in this store. Not because you're smart with money, because money doesn't give you the option to be careless. You do the math constantly, standing in line at the gas station doing math, lying in bed at 3 a.m. doing math. The shower running while you do math in your head, not complicated math. Survival math. If I don't buy this, I can afford that. If I skip this, I make it to Friday. If I make it to Friday, I get paid. If I get paid, I survive another week. Your bank sends a notification. Overdraft fee, $34. You just lost $34 for being poor. That's what nobody explains. Being broke costs money. The penalty for not having enough is money taken from what you don't have. You sit on the edge of your bed. You feel something that isn't anger and isn't sadness. Just a low hum. Heavy. It never fully goes away. You don't talk about this. Not because you're private, because there's nothing to say. Everyone around you is doing the same math. Everyone pretends Friday isn't the only day that matters. At zero, money isn't a goal. It isn't a tool. It's oxygen. You're either breathing or you're not. And most days, you can't tell which one you are. The first rule, below zero. Every dollar is a decision between two kinds of suffering. Level 1, $500. You're finally not negative. The number on your screen doesn't tighten your chest anymore. But, and this matters, $500 isn't safety. It's a pause. One car repair, and you're back to zero. One medical bill. One broken thing that needs fixing. You know this because you've been here before. You've touched $500 3 times. You've lost it 3 times. This time is different. This time, when life takes its cut, you rebuild faster. The overdraft notifications stopped. That silence from your bank feels like the loudest victory you've ever experienced. You're at the grocery store again. You reach for the name brand cereal, not the cheap stuff, the one with the cartoon character your younger self wanted. You stand there holding it. The box feels heavier than it should. It doesn't mean anything, except it means everything. It means you can afford to stop calculating, even if it's just for one trip. You buy it. You set a rule. Don't drop below $300. You break it in the second week. Car needed gas. Laundry needed quarters. Life needed its cut. You rebuild it by the end of the month. This cycle, losing and rebuilding, teaches you something you don't have a name for yet. Not discipline. Not yet. Just the understanding that you can take a hit and still stand. After crawling for so long, standing feels like flying. The second rule. At $500, progress isn't about the number. It's about the feeling of not drowning. Level 2, $5,000. Something shifts in how you carry yourself. You don't notice it. Other people do. The panic is gone, not replaced by confidence, just absence. The weight you carried lifts and leaves nothing behind. An unexpected $400 bill arrives. Car repair. The kind of number that would have destroyed you 6 months ago. You pay it. You absorb it without flinching. Your balance drops, but your chest doesn't tighten. That ability to take a hit and keep standing, that's new. That's everything. You start noticing something else. People around you still at zero. You recognize it instantly. The hesitation before ordering. The quick calculation at the register. The way they check their balance like it might have changed in the last 5 minutes. You used to be that math. You are that math. But now you see it from outside. And seeing it changes how you understand what $5,000 actually means. It means you have room. Room to think about next month instead of surviving this week. room to breathe without counting the breaths. You open an investment app on a Friday night. You stare at it for 3 hours before doing anything. Your hand hovers over the button. When you finally invest $200 into an index fund, it feels permanent, like signing something. The market dips the next day. Your $200 becomes $187. Every instinct screams, pull it out. You don't. You let the number be red. You let it stay red for a week. And somewhere in that silence between wanting to panic and choosing not to, you learn something. Patience isn't natural. It's a skill. And it costs something every time you use it. The third rule, at $5,000, money stops being survival and starts being strategy. Level 3, $25,000. You feel stable. For the first time in your life, the word applies to you. Bills are covered. There's a buffer. The emergency fund actually exists. Everything they told you would work is working. Then one night, you sit with a calculator and something cracks. You project your salary forward. 30 years. Same job, same raises, same desk. The number at the end is fine. It's enough. But you stare at it, and disappointment seeps in, slowly, like cold air, through a window you can't find. Your salary has a ceiling. Someone decided your peak before you were hired. You're not climbing. You're on a conveyor belt, and the belt has an end. But something shifts. Your evenings go to a side project, not a business, not yet. Just a thing that makes $300 a month, then $500. You don't tell anyone. You reinvest every dollar, not because you're greedy, because you saw something, and you refuse to build your life underneath it. Your investments earned $840 this year. You didn't work for it. It just appeared. That passive return money earning while you sleep rewires your brain. For the first time, you understand something fundamental. Money can work. Not metaphorically, actually. Your capital is now working the same hours you work. And it never gets tired. Your old friends are still complaining about their salaries. You stop joining those conversations. Not because you're better than them, because you're not them anymore. The conversation is over for you. The option has revealed itself. And once you see an option, you can't unsee it. The fourth rule, at $25,000, your salary stops being your ceiling and becomes your floor. Level 4, $100,000. 6 figures. You've crossed a line most people talk about but never touch. And the strangest part is how quiet it feels. No fanfare, no celebration. Just a number on a screen that used to feel impossible now sitting there, like it's always been there. The bank treats you differently. Calls from advisors you didn't ask for. Emails about wealth management. Words like portfolio thrown at you, like you've always understood them. You haven't. But they don't know that. They just see the number. People sense something changed. Not because you told them. You've stopped talking about money entirely. But something shifted in how you walk into rooms. The way you don't flinch at restaurant bills. The way you ordered without checking the price. It's subtle. But people feel it, and the reactions split into 2 categories. Jealousy or dismissal. Neither is useful. Your side project now makes $3,200 a month. More than your job's monthly raise ever was. You still go to work, you still sit at the desk, but you're not trapped anymore. You're choosing to be there. That choice changes everything. It changes how you walk in every morning. It changes how you carry yourself through the day. Your investments earned $6,400 this year. You realize something profound. This money isn't coming from your labor. It's coming from your capital. That distinction rewires everything. You're not working for money anymore. Money is starting to work for you. The reversal is subtle. The impact is absolute. Your old friends are talking about their mortgages, their debt, their dreams of someday having what you have now. You listen quietly. You remember being them, the anxiety, the math, the checking your balance at 11:47 p.m. You don't judge it. You just know you're not going back. You couldn't go back even if you wanted to. The person you were is behind you now. The 5th rule. At $100,000, you stop working for money, and money starts revealing what it can actually do. Level 5, $500,000. Your money has a personality now. It moves in certain directions. It resists others. You've had an investment return $22,000 in 8 months. You've had another lose $8,000. You don't panic about the loss. Not because you don't care about $8,000. You do. But you understand now. This is the cost of being in the game. You don't pull back. You reposition. Your social circle shifted without you noticing. Not dramatically, quietly. So quietly you didn't realize until the ease was already gone. The people you spend time with now think about money differently. They don't talk about cost. They talk about return. The vocabulary changed, and with it, the people changed. Your old friends still text sometimes. You respond slower each time, not on purpose. Naturally, you inhabit different worlds now. Explaining what you do at $500,000 to someone at $50,000 feels like speaking a language they haven't learned yet. And they know they don't understand. You start thinking in assets. Not income, not savings. Assets. Things that earn while you sleep. Things that grow while you're not watching. Your job's paycheck still matters. But it's no longer the main character. It's a supporting role in a story that got bigger than any paycheck could carry. You make a decision about a company you're invested in. The restructuring would improve your margins. 140 jobs are at stake. You review the position. You make the decision that increases your wealth. You don't feel good about it. You don't feel bad about it. You feel the distance. The gap between your decisions and their consequences widens so slowly you didn't notice until it was already permanent. The sixth rule. Above $500,000, money stops being about survival and becomes about reach. And reach changes everything it touches. Level 6. $1 million. A Tuesday. Nothing ceremonial. Your app updates. 7 figures. You sit with it. You thought you'd feel different. You thought there would be more. Your first instinct is math. $1 million at 4% return is $40,000 a year. That's not freedom yet. That's a starting point. The milestone everyone chases turns out to be a door, not a destination. You walk through it, and the room on the other side is bigger than you imagined. You stop telling yourself you'll feel complete at the next number because you said that at $10,000. You said it at $100,000. You said it at $500,000. The finish line keeps moving, not because you're greedy. The game keeps revealing levels you didn't know existed. Your problems changed, not disappeared, changed. Tax strategy replaces budgeting. Asset protection replaces saving. The vocabulary of your entire life rewrites itself. Words you never heard at $6 now run your daily decisions. You give away $50,000 last month, not for reputation. Because at this level, giving is one of the few things that still feels real. Spending has become numb. Earning is automatic. But giving choosing to transfer your capital to something you believe in that still feels like something. You look at a picture of yourself from 5 years ago. The person holding $100,000 like it was everything. You barely recognize him. The person you've become isn't better. Isn't worse. Just different. Fundamentally, irreversibly different. You built a fortress of capital between yourself and the person you were. And now the fortress is so tall you can't see over it anymore. The seventh rule. At $1 million, money doesn't change your life. It reveals what your life was actually building toward. Level 7. $10 million. You stopped checking your balance 6 months ago. The number doesn't move in ways that matter anymore. It just exists, growing quietly like something alive that learned to feed itself. Your investments earned $420,000 this year. You didn't do anything. Money now makes more money than you could earn in a decade of work. The concept feels abstract, almost unreal. The isolation is complete. Not loneliness, isolation. The people who knew you at $6 can't reach your life anymore. You can't reach theirs. The context doesn't translate. A conversation about quarterly earnings or tax jurisdiction would bore them. A conversation about their monthly budget would feel patronizing, so you don't have those conversations anymore. You've built a world at the top that's fundamentally separated from the world at the bottom. You give away more money than you ever thought possible, $300,000 last year. Not for reputation, because at this level, giving is one of the few things that still feels real. It's one of the few decisions that doesn't feel hollow. You think about the person you were, checking their balance at 11:47 p.m., putting the apple back on the shelf, the math that never stopped. That person feels like a different lifetime. You built a fortress between yourself and that feeling, and now you live inside it. The account opens every morning. It doesn't care who you are. It takes whoever shows up, consistently, patiently. The money compounds, so do you. Somewhere right now, someone's balance reads $6. They're checking at 11:47 p.m. They're doing the math. They're asking themselves if this is temporary. You remember that feeling. It shaped you, built you, made you understand that every dollar matters, that every decision compounds. They don't know yet that the anxiety they feel now will transform into ambition, that the math will become strategy, that the person they're becoming will barely recognize who they are right now. But it always starts there, at $6, and it always will.